Want more wins? Here's some tips. Brake late with our powerful titanium piston brake kits featuring our VRT Max rotor and all titanium hardware. Stay on track with the lightest, strongest, and safest rear torsion arm ever made in our exclusive AccuLength W-Link. Hold it all together with our huge selection of high-strength, precision titanium fasteners boxed up custom for your car in labeled bags. Make the decision for precision.
Looking for change? Say goodbye to sluggish performance and reach for the one that won't slow you down.
That's crisp.
Experience the force of clean, pure oil coursing through your engine. No matter what you drive, Wix Filters is the clear choice. Here's to filtration that works as hard as you do. Wix Premium Filters. Performance starts here.
This year, we actually get to race.
These guys are sprint car drivers, stock car drivers, drifters. Here, they're going to drive something that requires a different sense of discipline.
It's a group of 12 guys who are really good at driving race cars.
Team NOS Zero Sugar.
Team NOS Original.
Team Sonic Sour.
Team GT Grape.
We're not sure how these cars are going to drive.
Let's go racing.
It's ARP Fasteners for whatever you race. From 2 wheels to 4. Off-road, on-road, even water. From the flat track to the salt flats. Grassroots racers, weekend warriors, and pros alike trust ARP. Made in America quality, family owned and operated. When failure is not an option, it's ARP-bolts.com. No matter what you race.
DIRTVision presents World of Outlaws, NOS Energy Drink Sprint Cars, the pinnacle of dirt track racing. Featuring sprint car racing's best drivers, biggest races.
David Travel is the King's Royal Champion. Slide up in front of Kofoid, and at the line, Kofoid gets the win.
And best coverage.
Welcome back to the greatest show on dirt.
You wanted the best. You got them 4 abreast.
DIRTVision is home to the greatest shows on dirt.
Wichita, Kansas is the destination tonight for the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series as they hold their 16th event at this historic racetrack to close out the month of March with the World of Outlaws Wichita Sprint Car Showdown. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our DIRTVision coverage this evening. My name is Connor Wade, in the booth this evening at 81 Speedway as our DIRTVision coverage is going to look and sound a little bit different here this evening. What I would consider the greatest streak in the history of broadcasting, that is 2,357 consecutive World of Outlaws Sprint Car races called by Hall of Famer John Gibson. That streak is going to come to an end this evening as John is battling some health issues. He's doing well. We spoke with him on the phone earlier this afternoon. He's in great spirits, doing a lot better, but not on property here this evening. He will be watching. World Racing Group leads the entire sprint car racing community in sending our thoughts, prayers, and well wishes towards Johnny and his entire family. We look forward to him rejoining the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series at the racetrack very, very soon. Well, I'm honored to fill in for John in this role here this evening. The focus on our show tonight is, as it always is, on the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series, which wraps up the weekend here at 81 Speedway in Park City, Kansas, just outside of Wichita here this evening. The weekend started last night about 4 hours south of here, Lawton Speedway in Oklahoma, our first time at that historic racetrack in over 4 years, and a great race that got very, very interesting in the final 10 laps. Let's look back at those DIRTVision highlights.
The Sooner State Showdown is underway at Lawton Speedway. Buddy Kofoid leads into turn 1, challenged on the outside by Bill Baylog. Now Baylog feeling pressure low from the 41 of Carson Macedo. Macedo sweeps to the inside. Buddy Kofoid leads lap 1 with Macedo in second. Carson Macedo coming after Kofoid. A good run down the back straightaway. They race for the lead into 3 and 4. Gravel to the inside, can't get by the 17B. Trouble, a car upside down. Red flag conditions on the speedway. It is the 2C of Cole Macedo on his side over in turn 2. Buddy Kofoid jumps on the throttle. We come back to green flag competition. Carson Macedo looking for a run on Kofoid. They'll make their way into turn 3. David Gravel gets by Bill Baylog, move Gravel to third now. Carson Macedo. Now back to the bottom into corner number 1. Kofoid tries to slam the door. Macedo is right there with him. They'll race for the lead into turn 3, side by side. Buddy Kofoid and Carson Macedo duke it out in front of the field, and David Gravel getting closer to both of them. Buddy Kofoid challenged now by the 41. Carson Macedo once again looks to the inside. Kofoid tries to slam the door. Macedo's right there with him. They get very, very close coming out of turn 2. Here's Macedo again, looking to the outside in 3 and 4. Carson Macedo trying to drive around Kofoid for the lead. Can't get it done. There are 10 laps to go at Lawton. Macedo looking for a run. Axom around the outside of Gravel. Emerson Axom takes third from the points leader. Emerson Axom, a show tonight at Lawton Speedway. 4 laps to go. Can Axom be a factor in the finish of this one? Now Axom to the inside of Macedo for second as they race to the white flag. 1 to go at Lawton Speedway. Macedo to the inside in 1 and 2. Couldn't make it happen. Back straightaway for the final time into the final set of turns. Carson Macedo tries the low side, but Buddy Kofoid will hang on for the win. Carson Macedo second, Emerson Axom a close third, David Gravel fourth, and Sheldon Hodenshield in fifth.
That was an incredible last couple of laps at Lawton Speedway last night. 4 cars battling for the win in the late stages of that event. Buddy Kofoid gets his second win of the 2025 campaign. Carson Macedo bringing it home in second, 5th podium of the year for him, and then Emerson Axom rounding out the podium. As you did a look there at last night's winner, Buddy Kofoid chatting things up with Garrett Williamson and their respective crews ahead of the action here at 81 Speedway this evening. We're going to kick off our Wade's World talking about Buddy Kofoid, of course, last night's feature winner, the Penngrove, California native, expected to be a nightly contender for wins and a championship in 2025 based off of his late success in 2024, his rookie year, 6 wins in the last 2 full months of the season. And while 2025 started off okay, he wasn't quite at the form that we saw him at towards the end of last season. That was until Dylan Buswell, the crew chief for Roth Motorsports, decided to make what would seem like a minor change that turned out to, well, put Kofoid in victory lane. And that was going back to the car that they ran and had all that success with at the end of the 2024 season. They made that switch 2 weeks ago tonight at Kennedale Speedway Park. That night, Kofoid went to victory lane. Since then, 2 second-place finishes at Cotton Bowl Speedway, and then, of course, that big win last night at Lawton. For Dylan Buswell, Roth Motorsports, and Buddy Kofoid, Old Faithful, getting them back to form.
Well, we just know where we should be. I know what I should be doing with the race car and what it should be giving back to me, and he knows what he should be feeling, and we just weren't getting that with what we were running. It was a newer car, so just to kind of get back on track, we just went back to something that we know, and it's obviously proved to be beneficial so far. It's just so tough out here, and I think it's only getting harder, and these guys are at it every lap, and I think he got himself to that level, and just you're just learning how to be an outlaw as such. How all these guys race and the different tracks, and we've been to a lot of tracks that I hadn't been to or him, so like last night was his first night at Lawton and he won, so that's just him being really good at being able to adapt quick, and hopefully hopefully he can just keep progressing like that, and hopefully we'll be fighting for a championship here in the coming years.
Here's Kevin Dobrik, Rookie of the Year award winner, Buddy Kofoid, looking to sweep the weekend to close out the month of March here with the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series. He came to 81 Speedway last season and brought home a 5th place finish with the greatest show on dirt that really kickstarted a run of consistent top 5 finishes in the early stages of the 2024 season that, of course, led him to the Rookie of the Year award. Carson Macedo bringing home a 2nd place finish last night. David Ravel extending his top 5 streak to start the 2025 season with a 4th place run, but the 3rd place finisher, the one that was in between Macedo and David Ravel, Emerson Axom, really coming alive and being a threat late in that race. You take a look at Axom's night at Lawton last night, really fast from the drop of the green flag in qualifying. They were the 22nd car to go out. You see Emerson strapping in right there. Qualified 6th overall, 2nd in the heat race, got him into that all-important dash where they lost a spot, but still, after a 6th place starting position in the feature, drove up to 3rd. Emerson's 3rd career podium finish with the greatest show on dirt, equaling his best career run with the series in his short career. Emerson's talked to us several times in the early stages of 2025 about how, while their big track program is good, they seem to not be as good as they should be on the short tracks. That might have changed last night as Emerson back running up front, back in his comfort zone.
I feel like we've kind of not struggled, we've just not really put together a full night this year. And like we've been really fast to start the night and then struggled late, or struggled early and then been really fast late, but it didn't really matter just because we haven't put the full night together. So I think just, if we can put some solid nights together and keep getting in this dash. We've been in the dash a lot more than it feels like, and qualified solid, and yeah, if we can just keep qualifying well and making our job a little bit easier in heat races and stuff like that, it goes a long way. So I think we'll be pretty good here. Our stuff really rolls on the 3/8 to half-mile stuff, and I think our car will be solid. We'll see. You can kind of never really know until you know. So I'm excited, and it looks like it races well. And yeah, we'll just go out there and try to lay down a lap in qualifying and put together a good heat race.
Now, unlike Buddy Kofoid, Emerson Axom does not have any laps here at 81 Speedway, so we'll see how he fares on a new racetrack for him tonight. Great night of action, I should say, on tap for the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series this evening here at 81 Speedway as we take a look at our track facts. This place has been around Wichita, Kansas a long time, going all the way back to when it opened in 1954. It's a 3/8 mile. The World of Outlaws have held 15 events here over the years. Sammy Swindell with several trips to victory lane back in the 80s. Rico Abreu, however, has won the last 2 events here at 81 Speedway with the greatest show on dirt. There is one driver in the field tonight that has been to victory lane here with the Outlaws, and that was Donnie Schatz, who did it in 2006, and then after a lengthy absence from this track for the series, came back in 2017 and did it once again. So we'll see if Donnie could get win number 3 here in Wichita this evening. The race last year here with the Outlaws, Rico Abreu kind of dominated it, but the racing on back, 2nd through 5th, really good action, leaves us with high expectations for what we have in store this evening. Let's take a look at our PlayDirtCar.com betting odds. Remember, you can wager to win real money on the greatest show on dirt by going to PlayDirtCar.com. David Gravel still the favorite even after the 4th last night, but plus 203. Buddy Kofoid has leapfrogged Carson Macedo as the 2nd best odds-on favorite with that win last night, and running top 2 4 races in a row. Kofoid at plus 449, Carson Macedo at plus 456. Schatz, I mentioned, the 2-time winner here at plus 935, and then if you look way down the ticker on your screen, Emerson Axom, 3rd place run last night, 4,900, plus 4,900 are his odds. Weather conditions, 76 degrees, 14-mile-per-hour winds, but we have cars on track for hot laps. It's time to get the night underway here in Kansas. There's a look at the 10-time series champion from Fargo, North Dakota, the Advanced Auto Parts CarQuest Curb Records Martin One Source for Tony Stewart, Kermack, Janian Racing. That's the 15 of Donnie Schatz. Schatz fires off down the front straightaway. There's a look at the North Pole Nightmare, winner at Talladega earlier this year. Heartland, Wisconsin driver, Anderson's Pure Maple Syrup, Honest Abe Roofing, Rinderman Family, M3 Custom Creations. Sponsoring Bill Baylog in the 17B. His Maxim chassis rolling into turn number 1. 31 car field tonight. We'll have 5 hot lap sessions. There's a look at the driver from Higginsville, Missouri, Casey's General Store, FBP, Andy's Frozen Custard, Impact Science, Dittsfield Transfer. It's Blackjack Brian Brown in the 21. For number 2, KS, that is the Visalia, California native, Iowa Barnstormers, Landis DMIP, Jersey Freeze, Spankins Motorsports. For TKS Motorsports, Corey Eliason, two-time winner with the greatest show on dirt in the field here tonight in Wichita, Kansas. Hot lap session number 1, currently putting heat in the motors. There's a look at a driver that told us he would not be back with the series tonight after a rough night last night, but made it anyway. St. Mary's, New South Wales, Australia driver, sponsored by TT Concrete, Maxim Trucking, Elite Installation, Zip Bonds, Vermeer Motorsports, number 55V. That's the madman, Kerry Matson. Matson rolls out a turn 4 down the front straightaway, a driver that made his 410 sprint car debut last night from Colby, Kansas, sponsored by MAP Incorporated, KLR Farms, Rough Bailey Cattle Company, Shipman Livestock, number 1X. That's the former Power Midget champion, Bryant Wiedemann. Bryant Wiedemann in the 1X. Final car we'll see here in this first hot lap session of the evening will be scheduled to be the 6K of Caleb Johnson. He's making his way out of turn 4. The Sioux Falls, South Dakota native, Hefty Seed, Blondie Motorsports, Odson Underground, Fulkins Brothers Trucking for the Huset Speedway track champion. First hot lap session of the night at 81 Speedway for the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series. First of 5 hot lap sessions this evening for the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series on track. We'll see the track pick up a lot of speed here early in the night. Quite a bit of moisture in the surface with the cloudy skies we've had here in Park City, Kansas this afternoon, especially here these last couple of hours. Saw Donnie Schatz there on your screen momentarily. There's Bill Baylog in the 17B. Top 10 finish for him last night. Kerry Matson currently at the top of the speed charts here in this first section with a 14.319. We're going to see this racetrack get a lot quicker as the night goes on. Track record in the low 13-second bracket. So checkered flag comes out to conclude the first hot lap session of the evening. Matson quickest with that time of 14.429. Hit that 14.319. Caleb Johnson second, 14.466. Donnie Schatz third quick, 14.521. Bill Baylog 14.549. The top 4. And then it was Corey Eliason rounding out the top 5 in the first hot lap session of the evening. Tough night last night for Kerry Matson. Upside down in last chance showdown action after he had his teammate Hunter Schoenberg on top of him in heat races. There's Caleb Johnson. We see this quite a bit with the greatest show on dirt. After we turn the first hot lap session of the night green for a couple laps, we'll give him a session and then a couple laps to work the track surface in. Race director Dud Leonard and the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series officials will tell him, hey, run the top, run the bottom, work the middle in a little bit, and then we will turn them back loose and give them another hot lap session. So 14.319, the time to beat here early on in the program. Again, my name is Connor Wade, filling in for Hall of Famer John Gibson this evening, battling some health issues, but he is doing well. Plans to be back on the microphone very, very soon. Won't be the same without Johnny on the call tonight. Certainly wish he was here with us. But sometimes in life, you have to take care of more important things, such as health. So, Johnny, we know you're going to be watching on DIRTVision this evening. Take care of yourself. Can't wait to see you back soon with the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series. 31-car field this evening. We'll have a 3-heat program. We will, however, expand them into 5 hot lap sessions here to begin our evening. We'll go into Honest Abe Roofing qualifying after that. Back to green flag speeds here in the first hot lap session of the night at 81 Speedway. That man right there on your screen, Donnie Schatz, takes over the top of the speed charts here in the first hot lap session with a 14.248. So prior to giving them the second round here, hot laps, we saw lap times in the 14.3s. Obviously the track picking up speed here as some of the grease gets blown off. Now to the 14.2s. There's a look at Brian Brown at 21. Kerry Matson now back to the top of the speed charts at 14.247. Interviewed Kerry Matson after the after the Last Chance Showdown last night, and he told us that he would likely not be back. Too much damage to the race car, but he and the Vermeer Motorsports crew took a look at it and decided that they were all right to come out and finish off the weekend with the greatest show on dirt. Big crowd expected here tonight at 81 Speedway, so we asked everybody in the grandstands to get to know your neighbors well. Squeeze in as tightly as you can. We got a lot of fans that want to make their way into Park City, Kansas tonight to see the greatest show on dirt's only stop here in the state of Kansas in 2025. So if you're in the grandstand area, squeeze together, sit as closely as you can so we can get everybody in to get eyes on the greatest show on dirt. Corey Eliason actually there at the end of that first hot lap session going quickest as we've seen our first lap in the 14.1 second bracket of 14.199 for Corey Eliason. Madsen, Schatz, Brown, Caleb Johnson, Bill Baylod, Bryant Wiedemann following in the order. No pit reporter tonight with our late adjustments here. So we will forgo our traditional heat race interviews. The dash draw will be held at the command center this evening. But don't worry, still going to be just as exciting of a show for the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series champion. Session 2 coming on. There's the 2023 ASCS champion. He's from Liberal, Kansas, the Bybee Electric Trucks Plus Mel Hamilton Racing, Donut Racing Engine Superior Trailers number 36. That is Jason Martin. Pulling up alongside Martin is the Wisconsin driver, Oconomowoc, Wisconsin, to be exact. Gibbsville Cheese, Ludwig & Son Trucking, Keen Racing Products, Oostburg Concrete, Kaiser, number 73 of Logan Julian. Also on your screen, the Oklahoma City native, former winner here with ASCS, Ryan Timms in car number 10, sponsored by Hample Oil, Sitgard, Mystic Lubricants, and Sitgo, the Liveid Racing number 10 machine. And a fan favorite with the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series from Wooster, Ohio. He drives the NOS Energy Drink West Tennessee Expediting. Frozen Farmer Maxima Oil number 17 for Stenhouse Junior Marshall Racing. That is Sheldon Hodenshield. Hodenshield in car number 17. 6 consecutive races that finishes 6th or better for Sheldon. How about this guy? If you're a fan of non-wing sprint car racing, you know him well from Coleman, Alabama, the Hydebreeder Motorsports, the Branch, JR1 Race Cars number 19. That's KTJ, Kevin Thomas Jr. First Outlaw appearance of the year for KTJ, and there is the defending champion with the greatest show on dirt and current series point leader from Watertown, Connecticut, the Houston Speedway, Billion Automotive, Jackson Motorplex, Prosper Real Estate Investments, JRC number 2, that's David Gravel. Gravel, 5 wins in the month of March and a 78-point advantage over Carson Macedo in the point standings entering tonight. We have seen all the cars scheduled for hot lap session number 2 here at 81 Speedway. Track continues to pick up speed. We have now seen a driver break into the 13-second bracket. No surprises, it's David Gravel that did that. 13.7, a lot of difference in speed here in the second hot lap session compared to the first. Smoke out of the 36 of Jason Martin. Martin seeming a little bit off the pace down the back straightaway in that number 36 machine. That is not a good sign for the former Outlaw full-timer, making his first appearance with the series since this year's Dirt Car Nationals. Big puff of smoke out of that 36 as he came down the front straightaway the last time. That draws the caution flag here in the second hot lap session of the evening. David Ravel in the 2, as I mentioned, has set quick time in 8 of the last 9 races with the greatest show on dirt. He's trying to extend that streak here tonight. That does draw session number 2 to a close as they're going to send the cars back to the pit area. David Ravel now fastest with a 13.702. Ryan Timms second quick right there with a 13.959. Sheldon Hanschild third. Corey Eliason remains fourth. Logan Julian was fourth fastest in that group of fifth. Jason Martin did get one lap complete before we saw the smoke come up 14.228. We'll pay attention to see if the 36 makes the call for qualifying. Cars seem to be running all right there after the yellow flag came out. So David Ravel setting the mark early on here in hot laps, which will go right into Honesty Roofing qualifying after our 5 hot lap sessions. What a month of March it has been for David Ravel. Point lead shrunk a little bit last night by 4. Still a very, very comfortable gap between himself and Carson Macedo coming into tonight. There is one of the 7 Rookie of the Year contenders with the World of Outlaws this season. From Sikeston, Missouri, the TK Concrete, Maxim Trucking, Logan Contractor Supply, Zip Bond, Smoker's Choice, Inland Rigging, number 55. That's Hunter Schurenberg. Hunter Schurenberg in the 55, joined by a fellow rookie next to him, the Leduc, Alberta, Canada native, Warrior Building Development, Building Packages Direct, Nelson Brothers Construction, Pack Rat Dumpsters, number 99. That's Skylar G. G, of course, originally from Canada, now calls Kokomo, Indiana home as our third session rolls on. Bunch of rookies in this one. There's another one, Connor Morrell out of Bradenton, Florida, the 28M, supported by Turbo Towels, Emily Oil, USA Steel Fence, and Autoloads.com. Of course, Morrell, one of the 2 cars for Bill Rose Racing. Podium finisher last night. Right behind Connor Morrell, the Franklin, Indiana native, WCI Petrie Excavating KPM number 27. That is Emerson Axom. The young Indiana native has been so close on multiple occasions to that first Outlaw win. Looked really good last night. See if he could break through for that first Outlaw triumph here this evening. A winner at Kennedale a couple of weeks ago from Fresno, California. The Aspen Air Hawkeye Truck Equipment, Bring Fuel, Precision Underground Utilities for KCP Racing. That's the 18 Hot Sauce, Giovanni Selzy. Final car on the Speedway, another rookie out of Indianapolis, Indiana, the Sandy Reed, Mesilla Valley Transportation, Tully's Heating and Cooling, Steve Beitler Yacht Charters, Hellraiser Jacks, number 6. That is Zach Hampton. Zach Hampton, the final car on track for hot lap session number 3 here at 81 Speedway. So David Ravel setting the mark in that last hot lap session with that 13.702. Nobody eclipsing him. However, Connor Morrell, quickest in this hot lap session as session 3 comes to a close with a 13.842. Hunter Schurenberg is now 3rd overall. He got up to 13.956 right there. Ryan Timms, Sheldon Hanschild continued to round out the top 5 in overall hot lap times. Giovanni Selzy was 3rd quick in that session with a 14.065. So Connor Morrell continues to be impressive, although this, of course, is just hot laps, but starting off the night with some speed. 2 hot lap sessions remain here with the greatest show on dirt. Final race in the month of March, but we are not slowing down as the calendar turns to April. Arrowhead Speedway, a beautiful facility in eastern Oklahoma, on tap next week for the 2-night Jason Johnson Classic, a fan and driver favorite event with the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series. And great to see a huge crowd here at 81 Speedway in Kansas this evening. A beautiful facility. The World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series now pretty much come here on an annual basis. The racing here the last 2 seasons has been incredible. And we're excited for another good one here tonight. 2 more sessions for the greatest show on dirt in hot laps this evening. Pushing on to the speedway in a 31-car field. A glance at the first couple coming onto the racetrack. That is Cousin Cameron, driver of car number 12. That's from Warrensburg, Missouri. The Beaver Drill and Tool, Saw Drill Manufacturing, Bleeding Disorders of the Heartland. Cameron Key in car number 12. That's that Beaver Racing entry. Johnny Herrera, Jianshu, Jace Park in that 45X machine, Overland Park, Kansas native. JB Henderson Construction, MVT, Smith Titanium, Miller Bonded, MPV Environmental. On the side of that 45X machine, runner-up finisher from last night, and the driver that currently sits second in World of Outlaws point standings from Lemoore, California, the all-Bawyer alternative, Mesilla Valley Transportation, Tarleton Sons, Sage family, Scott Boyd family, Complete Parts, number 41, Carson Macedo. Carson Macedo in the 41, the track record holder here at 81 Speedway. He set that mark last year. And 2 drivers lined up side by side there as the field begins to fire. Car on the outside, the Columbia, Missouri native, SNS Nationwide, CSC Group, LRI, Edelstop, Missouri Game, Impact Signs, Abbott Telecom. That's Garrett Williamson. Garrett Williamson, the rookie, in car number 23. And car number 24T, the Sanborn, Minnesota native, Trom Farms, Joe Pinion Trucking, Creek Area, Anderson Farms, Golden Harvest Inogen. That is Christopher Trom. Christopher Trom in car number 24T was the first car out of the feature last night. Brought home a 24th place finish, but been really good to have Trom out with the greatest show on dirt the last couple of weeks. Another rookie who also had a tough night last night, that's the Lemoore, California native, 2C Racing, Outlaw Wayne's Durst, Wedge High Performance Carts, Kaiser Aluminum Wheels for Cole Macedo. Cole Macedo in car number 2C, upside down in the opening stages of last night's feature at the Lawton Speedway. Comes to another place that he's never been to before, but his crew chief, Wayne Johnson, has. So we'll see what Wayne and Cole have up their sleeve here this evening. There's a look at Jace Park. Park was impressive here at 81 Speedway last season. He won the Last Chance Showdown, started the feature in 21st, and drove all the way up to the 13th position. So a pretty impressive run here at 81 last year for Jace Park. He'll be a guy to potentially keep your eyes on here this evening. Cameron Key in car number 12, doing more sprint car racing this season. Excited to see what he and the Beaver Clan have in store. Cameron spent a lot of the last couple seasons doing a lot of micro stuff. He's been very successful in that department. Also running full-time with the Extreme Outlaw Midget Series presented by Toyota in 2025, which you can catch live on DIRTVision. Hot Lap, session number 4 underway. Macedo to the top of the speed charts in that Jason Johnson Racing number 41, a 13.505 for Macedo. Puts him at the top. His brother Cole Macedo, second quickest in hot lap session number 4 in that 2C machine. Macedo now third overall with a 13.788. 4 hot lap sessions in the books as Macedo makes the left-hand turn inside of turn number 3. The cars go through the infield and then back out the same way they come on the inter-exit ramp in turn number 2. Good look at that 41 machine, which seems quick here this evening, at least at the beginning of the program. So 4 hot lap sessions in the books and 1 remaining as you get a look at the pit stands here at 81 Speedway as the cars cross. The Outlaws not the only thing on the card this evening. Fans here at 81 Speedway and everyone watching back home at DIRTVision will be treated to the Align Battery Stock Car Division, which runs here on a regular basis at the 81 Speedway. They'll hot lap in just a little bit, and then they will run their program after the conclusion of the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series feature here this evening. A driver who was upside down in heat race competition last night, but recovered to have a pretty decent night. Sapulpa, Oklahoma native, Smiley's Race Products, Glenn Steiner's Racing, CSR Garage, Blood Lubricants, number 52. That is the former ASCS champion, Blake Kahn. Blake Kahn in car number 52, JR1 chassis. A driver running his first race of the 2025 season in a new race car, the McLaren Vale South Australia native, Dirty Air, Mel Hamilton Racing, Giddings Motorsports, number 78. That is Scott Bajuski. Scott Bajuski in car number 78, first race of the 2025 campaign for Bajuski in that Giddings Motorsports entry. A Rookie of the Year contender with the Outlaws in 2025 from Canton, Illinois, the NOS Energy Drink, Keen Racing Products, Jim Shoenate High Performance Lubricants, Phillips and Tosco Developers, number 7S. That's Big Daddy Chris Wyndham. Chris Wyndham in car number 7S. Hanover, Pennsylvania native. He drives the Federated Auto Parts, Dryden Durmat, C&D Rigging, Shark Racing, number 1S. That's Logan Schuhart. Logan Schuhart in car number 1S. From Adel, Iowa, the TNS Industries, the Pat Carbless Right Choice Sharing Corrosion X number 1K. That is Kelby Watt. Kelby Watt in car number 1K. Saw Kelby make a handful of starts last season with the Greatest Show on Dirt. And last night's feature winner, last year's Rookie of the Year Award winner with the Greatest Show on Dirt from Penngrove, California, the Toyota Racing Development, Mobile One, Roth Motorsports, Roth Enterprises, HR Livestock Transportation, number 83. That is Buddy Kofoid. Buddy Kofoid in car number 83. And that will be the cars we see on track here in the final hot lap session of the night for the World of Outlaws Wichita Showdown. Little puff of smoke there for Buddy Kofoid in the 83. Everything seems to be all right. Not always a sign of disaster when you see a little puff of smoke in hot laps. Could just be some oil that leaked onto the headers or something like that. Saw Buddy kind of looking around in the cockpit, so he may have felt some fluid or something like that in the cockpit of the 83. Maybe still seeing a little smoke as that thing rolls back to the pit area. Logan Schuhart was quickest in the final hot lap session of the night with a 13.756. Blake Kahn right behind him, 13.786. Carson Macedo, though, quickest overall in hot laps this evening for the Greatest Show on Dirt at 13.505. Logan Schuhart rolling back to the pit area. So that concludes all 5 hot lap sessions this evening for our 31 car field at 81 Speedway with the Greatest Show on Dirt. With hot laps in the books, we now move on to Honest Abe Roofing qualifying. It looks like this. Each car will come out for 2 laps, 1 car at a time. They'll take the green the first time by. The fastest of their 2 laps in terms of lap speed will be their official time. We'll then take the official times to line up our 3 heat races later on in the program. Track record here at 81 Speedway, a 13.023, a 13.023. That was set by Carson Macedo this very race last year. And of course, Macedo quickest in hot laps already this evening. As you see the cars staged there for Honest Abe Roofing qualifying. Donnie Schatz, major story going into last night as the team put the Ford Performance power plant on the shelf for now. They switched over to a Kistler Chevy. It yielded a 10th place finish for them last night. And I talked to some crew members around the 15 team. They expect it to take a little bit of time to get the new Kistler Chevy dialed in, but they're still confident that was the right move for them. So going to be very interesting to see what the 15 has in store for us these next couple of weeks. It's a move that's been anticipated with a lot of excitement for Donnie and the Tony Stewart Cro-Magnon Racing team. And Donnie will be the first car out to qualify here this evening, looking for his first Fast Time Award of the season. As the field lines up in the turns 1 and 2 area. They'll be pushed off a turn number 2. They'll have about a half a lap or so, maybe a little bit more than that, to get up to speed, and they will take the green flag the first time by. A good look at the stands off the turn 2 area where Donnie Schatz rolls on right now to kick off Honesty Roofing qualifying. Fargo, North Dakota native drives the Advanced Auto Parts CarQuest Ford Performance Curb Records Martin 1 Source number 15. It's the 10-time series champion Donnie Schatz. Donnie Schatz takes the green, and he is on the clock here at 81 Speedway. Schatz, as I mentioned, 10th place run for him last night after starting 15th, 8th top 10 of the 2025 season for Donnie Schatz. First lap time we see out of the 15 this evening, a 13.901. 13.901 for Donnie Schatz. 2 wins here at 81 Speedway, 2006 and 2017. Was on the podium here last season. Comes to conclude his qualifying run. Schatz a 13.699. 13.699, much better on the second lap for Donnie Schatz. He sets the bar here early on in Honesty of Roofing qualifying. Fast time tonight will be on the pole of heat race number 1, second quick on the pole of heat race number 2, so on and so forth. Making his way onto the racetrack now from Heartland, Wisconsin, the Anderson's Pure Maple Syrup Honesty of Roofing. Renderman Family M3 Custom Creations, number 17B, the North Pole Nightmare, Bill Baylog. Bill Baylog in 17B. Baylog started on the front row of last night's feature, went backwards a little bit, brought home a 7th place finish. Good enough for his 6th top 10 of the 2025 season. Got a win, of course, at Talladega. First lap time for Baylog. Quick time, 13.685. 13.685 for the North Pole Nightmare, as he eclipses Shock's mark, 13.699. Baylog goes down a little bit lower on corner entry that time in turn 3. Baylog's second lap is not as good, a 13.861. 13.861, but the 13.685 will stand as his official time. Quick time here in the early going for Bill Baylog, who nearly set quick time last night at the Lawton Speedway. Next driver onto the Speedway from St. Mary's, New South Wales, Australia. TK Concrete, Maxim Trucking, Elite Installation, Zip-Ons number 55B. It's the Madman, Kerry Matson. Kerry Matson in car number 55B. Had disasters come up nearly every time he hit the racetrack last night, but that doesn't stop him from returning here tonight at 81. First lap time for Madman. It's quick time, 13.658. 13.658. Track picking up a lot of speed early, but Matson taps the wall out of turn 2, and that's going to derail his second lap. Matson just puts it on the binders and calls it good. So he will have 1 lap stand, 13.658. We'll have to see if maybe that hurt anything on the rear end of the 55 as he tapped the wall on the back straightaway. But as of now, he is quick time, so no disaster at this point for Kerry Matson. From Visalia, California, the Iowa Barnstormers, Landis, DMIP, Jersey Free, Spankins Motorsports, number 2KS. This is Corey Eliason. Corey Eliason in the 2KS, a 13th place effort last night at the Lawton Speedway. 2-time winner with the Outlaws, both in California in 2018. Off to a decent start this season. First full year with TKS Motorsports. First lap time for Eliason. 4th quick, 14.034. 4th quick at a 14.034 for Corey Eliason. Third here with the All-Star Circuit of Champions in 2020 was Corey Eliason. Completes his qualifying run. Second lap quicker, but still 4th quick, 13.720, at least into the 13-second bracket. So Eliason, 4th quick, his official time, a 13.720. 4 qualifiers have gone out. Up next, from Colby, Kansas, the Map Incorporated, KLR Farms, Rough Bailey Cattle Company, Shipman Livestock number 1X. This is Brian Wiedemann. Wiedemann competed in his first career 410 wing sprint car race last night. He is the 2019 Power I Midget champion. Took a couple years off from racing full-time, but back with a big schedule in 2025. Kerry Matson, the time to beat right now. The first lap time for Bryant Wiedemann, however, is fifth quick. 14.382, 14.382 on the first circuit for Bryant Wiedemann. Colby, Kansas native, making his debut here at 81 Speedway, trying to improve on his second lap. It's quicker, but still fifth quick. 14.354, 13.354 for the 1X of Bryant Wiedemann. Just missed the show last night after having to go to the Federated Car Care Work Zone in the Last Chance Showdown. Houston's track champion on track now from Sioux Falls, South Dakota, the Hefty Seat, Blondie Motorsports, Hudson Underground, Vulcan Brothers Trekking number 6K. This is Caleb Johnson. Caleb Johnson making his season debut in 2025 last night in the Dennis Daney Racing number 6K. This pairing had a lot of success last year, a prelim win at the 360 Nationals. First lap, I should say, for Caleb Johnson, fifth quick at a 13.835. Fifth quick, 13.835 for Caleb Johnson. May have got a smidge high there out of the second turn. Tries to improve on his second lap. Sticks with the high side of the speedway. Second lap better, 13.965. 13.965, still fifth quick, however, for the Sioux Falls, South Dakota native. This guy is always a threat to win, always good in qualifying as well. From Higginsville, Missouri, the Casey's, FPP, Andy's Frozen Custard, Impact Science, Pittsfield transfer, number 21, Blackjack Brian Brown. Blackjack Brian Brown on track in car number 21. Best career finish of 9th here at 81 in 4 starts. That was with the All-Stars in 2020. Brown roars down the front straightaway. First lap for him, fifth quick, 13.727, 13.727. Good enough for fifth quick for Blackjack. 6 total races in 2025. Looking for his first win since September 28th of last year. Brown still fifth quick, but better on the second lap. 13.740, my apologies, not better on the second lap. 13.727 will be his official time. Logan Julian will be on track next. The Oconomowoc, Wisconsin native. Gibbsville Cheese, Ludwig & Son Trucking, King Racing Products, Oostburg Concrete, Kaiser Aluminum Wheels, number 73 for Logan Julian. Julian made his debut with the Outlaws at Talladega a couple of weeks ago. First lap time for Logan Julian in the 73, seventh quick, 14.086, a 14.086 for Julian. Best finish of 17th to this point on the campaign for Julian. That was at Cotton Bowl Speedway a week ago tonight. Second lap time for Julian, a little bit better, 14.042, 14.042, still seventh quick for the driver of the number 73. Kerry Matson, as you see on your screen, still with the time to beat at 13.658. A driver that had a little bit of smoke off the power plant in hot laps. Doesn't appear to be an issue for Jason Martin, the Liberal Kansas native, by the Electric Trucks Plus, Mel Hamilton Racing, Donut Racing Engine, Superior Trailers, number 36. Martin, 2023 American Sprint Car Series champion. First lap time for Martin is going to be seventh quick, 13.920, 13.920. Kevin Thomas Jr. was supposed to be the next car out. It appears that KTJ has missed his scheduled spot in qualifying. Second lap time for Jason Martin is going to be a little bit slower at a 13.959, seventh quick for Jason Martin in the 36 machine. First time we've seen him with the Outlaws since DCN. There is KTJ, the Coleman, Alabama native, who now makes his way onto the Speedway Hybrid Motorsports, the Branch JR1 Race Cars, number 19. Great to see Kevin Thomas Jr. in a wing car. 44 career USAC non-wing sprint car wins. First lap time for the Hybreeder 19, sixth quick, 13.820, 13.820 for Kevin Thomas Jr. Former top 10 finisher with the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series in the past. Trying to improve into the top 5 on his second lap, still sixth quick. 13.834, first lap better at 13.820 for Kevin Thomas Jr., who plans to do quite a bit of wing racing this year in that Hybreeder number 19, a team that returned to action in 2024. On track now from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, the Hample Oil, Sigard, Mystic Lubricant, Citgo, number 10. This is Flying Ryan Timms. Ryan Timms in car number 10. Timms 12th last night. The Hart Chargers starting in the 22nd position. Impressive run for the Lyman Motorsports, number 10. Got a couple of top 10s during Dirt Car Nationals. First lap time for Timms, 8th quick, 13.873. 13.873 for Ryan Timms. 10-time winner in 2024 between Sprint cars and midgets. Second lap time for Ryan Timms is going to be 13.886. 13.886, so the 13.873 on the first lap is going to stand for Ryan Timms. He's currently 8th quick here in Honest Abe Roofing qualifying. 11 cars have taken time. This guy is pretty good at qualifying, pretty good at racing in general. From Watertown, Connecticut to Houston Speedway, Billion Automotive, Jackson Motor Flats, Prosper Real Estate Investments, JRC number 2, it's David Gravel. David Gravel, last year's World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series champion and current series point leader. Gravel enters tonight, 107 wins with the Outlaws. First lap for Gravel, quick time. What else did you expect? 13.541, quick time for David Gravel in the number 2. We'll see if he can improve on that mark the second time around. Checkered flag coming down, Gravel second lap, even faster, 13.463, 13.463 for David Gravel. And he could make it 9 quick times in 10 races. An incredible stretch that the number 2 has been on in qualifying. Another fan favorite from Wooster, Ohio, the NOS Energy Drink West Tennessee Expediting Frozen Farmer Maxima Oil number 17, it's Sheldon Hodenshield. Sheldon Hodenshield for Stenhouse Junior Marshall Racing in that number 17 machine. Makes his way down the match straightaway and into turn number 3, 12th, 7th, and 4th. In his 3 starts here at E1, he's improved each and every time. First lap for Hodenshield is 7th quick, 13.792, a 13.792 on the first circuit for Sheldon Hodenshield. With everybody now trying to beat David Gravel at 14.643. Hodenshield completes his qualifying run up to 5th quick, 13.703, a 13.703. Improves Sheldon Hodenshield up to 5th quick. He's going to try to build off of his 5th place finish last night at Lawton. And on track next, podium finisher last night from Franklin, Indiana, the WCI Petrie Excavating KPM number 27. This is Emerson Axom. Emerson Axom in car number 27, qualified 6th last night. Had a quick time with the Outlaws on the opening night of the season during the Federated Auto Parts Dirt Car Nationals at Volusia back in February. Axom runs the top in 3 and 4, comes to complete his first lap of the night. 8th quick, 13.804. 8th quick for Emerson Axom with that 13.804. As the sun has started to come out a little bit here at 81 Speedway after it had been cloudy all throughout hot laps. Get some dirt up there out of the out of the 4th corner, I should say. 13.838, first lap better at 13.804. Emerson Axom currently 8th quick on the speed charts. He will head to the scales in the infield. On track now from Sykeston, Missouri, the TK Concrete, Maxim Trucking, Logan Contractor Supplies, Zip-On, Smoker's Choice in Trading number 55. It's Hunter Schoenberg. Hunter Schoenberg in car number 55. Schoenberg making his debut here at the 81 Speedway. Thought that maybe he had ran here in the past with the All-Stars, but did not when they came here in 2020. So new track for Schoenberg to deal with here this evening. Schoenberg in that Vermeer 55 goes 14th quick, 14.065, 14.065 for Schoenberg, who has a best finish on the season of 7th. That was during Bike Week at Volusia. 107 career starts with the Outlaws, best finish of 2nd in 2018. Schoenberg's second lap, 13th quick, 13.922, so the second lap better for Schoenberg at 13.922. We're about halfway through Honest Abe Roofing qualifying. David Gravel still holding the mark at that 13.463. On track now from Fresno, California, the Aspen Air Hawkeye Truck Equipment, Bring Fuel, Precision Underground Utilities, number 18, Hot Sauce, Giovanni Selzi. Giovanni Selzi in car number 18, upside down in a wild way here at 81 Speedway last year. Lost the point lead that night, looking for a better fortune here this evening. Second quick for Giovanni Selzi, 13.528, a 13.528 for Giovanni Selzi. Can he eclipse Gravel? Still needs to gain about a 10th. We'll see if he can do it. As he comes out of turn number 4, Selzi's second lap is a 13.683. First lap better at 13.528. Giovanni Selzi, though, a great effort for him. Second quick here in Honest Abe Roofing qualifying. Rookie of the Year contender with the Outlaws from Bradenton, Florida, the Tubba Towels, Emily Oil, USA Steel Fence, Autoloads.com, number 28M. This is Connor Morrell. Connor Morrell makes his 81 Speedway debut as well in that Bill Rose Racing number 28M machine. Morrell with an 18th place effort last night at the Lawton Speedway. First lap time for Morrell. 5th quick, nice lap for Morrell. 13.695. 13.695 for Connor Morrell in the 28M. 5th quick, a great effort. We'll see if he can climb even higher. Second lap for him is up to 3rd quick, 13.623. 13.623. Connor Morell shining in qualifying tonight. 3rd quick, right behind David Ravel and Giovanni Selzy. Nice effort for him. Leads us to another Rookie of the Year contender from Leduc, Alberta, Canada. The Warrior Building Development, Building Packages Direct, Nelson Brothers Construction, Pack Rat Dumpsters, number 99. It's Skylar G. Skylar G in car number 99. 13th, 14th, and 14th in the last 3 races between Cup Bowl and Lawton last night for Skylar G. First lap for him, 17th quick, 14.089. A 14.089 for Skylar G on the first lap, currently 17th quick. We'll see if he can improve on that here as he comes to complete his second circuit. G will go up to 16, 13.991, so into the 13-second bracket. Finds himself 16th quick for Skylar G in the 99. From Indianapolis, Indiana, this driver making his way onto the track next. The C&D Rigging, Mesilla Valley Transportation, Tully's Heating and Cooling, Steve Beitler Yacht Charters, Hellraiser Jets. Number 6, it's rookie Zach Hampton. Zach Hampton in car number 6, leading the Last Chance Showdown last night. Made a mistake. He's looking to bounce back tonight in a big way. Do not underestimate a fired up Zach Hampton. Runs a little bit lower in 3 and 4 that time than we've seen other drivers do. First lap time for Hampton, 18th quick, a 14.073. 14.073 for Zach Hampton in car number 6. Hampton, the second Builders Racing rookie here with the Outlaws in 2025, up to 16th that lap with a 13.936, so 16th quick for Zach Hampton. Bumps Skylar G down just a little bit. 12 cars remain in qualifying. Yet another rookie from Lemoore, California, the 2C Racing Outlaw Wings Durst Wedge High Performance Carts, I should say. Kaiser Aluminum Wheels, number 2C for Carlisle Racing. This is Cole Macedo. Cole Macedo in car number 2C. Macedo, 2 top 5 finishes, best of 4th at Talladega a couple of weeks ago when he led laps in that race. First lap time for Macedo, 17th quick, 13.948. A 13.948 for Cole Macedo. Good enough for 17th quick, qualifying his major stress point for Macedo and Wayne Johnson early in 2025. We'll see if they can improve. Up to 14th. Second lap better, 13th better. Macedo jumps him up to 14th here in Honesty Roofing qualifying. From Overland Park, Kansas, the J.B. Henderson Construction, Mesilla Valley Transportation, Smith Titanium, Miller Bonded, MPB Environmental. This is Jace Park. Jace Park takes the green flag. As I mentioned, Last Chance Showdown win, 21st to 13th last season here at 81 Speedway for Jace Park, the former ASCS Sooner Region winner. Only a couple races into his 2025 season. First lap for him is 20th quick, 14.245, a 14.245. 20th quick for Jace Park. Roars through 3 and 4, comes to his second lap. And quicker that time, still 20th, 14.209. So the 14.209 stands as the official lap time for Jace Park in the 45X. Rolling down the back straightaway onto the track now. From Warrensburg, Missouri, the Beaver Drill and Tool Saw Drill Manufacturing, leading to sorters of the Heartland number 12X, cousin Cameron Key. Cameron Key in car number 12X. Season debut with the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series. Of course, earned the nickname Cousin Cameron by being Clint Boyle's cousin. Boyle's the crew chief for Hunter Schoenberg. First lap time for Cameron Key, 22nd quick, 14.391. 14.391 for the Extreme Outlaw Midget Series regular, competing with Trifecta Motorsports on that tour here in 2025. Key trying to improve on his second lap. Second lap is better, 14.377, 14.377, but still 22nd quick for the Warrensburg, Missouri native. So he will sell for 22nd as of now. David Ravel still quick time at 14.463. On track now from Sanborn, Minnesota, the Trump Farms, Joe Pinion Trucking, Creek Area, Anderson Farms, Golden Harvest Engine, number 24T, Christopher Traum. Christopher Traum in 24T. I mentioned a unfortunate DNF last night of 24th, best career finish for Traum with the Outlaws 9th at Cedar Lake last year. First lap time for Christopher Traum, 20th quick, a 14.140, 14.140 for Christopher Traum in the 24T. Come around to complete his second circuit. Trom jumps up a little bit to 19th overall. 14.020, 14.020 for the 24T of Christopher Trom. The Minnesota native has made his way south for a couple of weeks with the greatest show on dirt. And on track now from Lemoore, California, the all-volume alternative, Mesilla Valley Transportation, Tarleton & Sons, Sage family, Scott Boyd family, complete parts number 41. It's Carson Macedo. Macedo bounces through 1 and 2, quickest in hot laps earlier tonight. Macedo in his 2 trips to 81, second and first quick in qualifying those 2 times, so high expectations for him in qualifying here. Third quick on lap 1, 13.582, 13.582. Macedo heads down the back straightaway. Track record holder, looking to go quick time in back-to-back races in 81. Can he do it? He does not. Second lap, 13.621. First lap better at 13.582. Solid effort for Carson Macedo, right behind Giovanni Selzy and David Ravel here in the Honesty Roofing qualifying ranks. From Columbia, Missouri, this is the SNS Nationwide CSC Group LRI Eagle Stop Missouri team. Impact Signs, Abbott Telecom number 23, Garrett Williamson. Garrett Williamson in car number 23, Rookie of the Year contender with the greatest show on dirt. 2 top 10 finishes on the season. Just missed that top 10 last night at Lawton, brought home an 11th place run. First lap time for Garrett Williamson, 25th quick, 14.675, 25th quick, and a 14.675 for Garrett Williamson. Williamson, best career finish with the Outlaws, a podium at Knoxville in June of 2023. Williamson, second lap, much better, 14th quick, 13.840. So a 13.840 for Garrett Williamson jumps him up to 14th quick. Major improvement on the second lap for the youngster. From Sapulpa, Oklahoma, the Smiley's Race Products, Glenn Steyer's Racing, CSR Garage, Blood Lubricants, number 52, it's Blake Hahn. Blake Hahn in car number 52, upside down in heat race competition last night. The team had to change the radiator and the front end on that machine. Got him back out to transfer into the feature last night at Lawton Speedway. Hahn, a veteran when it comes to 81 Speedway here in Kansas. First lap time for him is 17th quick at a 13.905, 13.905 for Blake Hahn on the first circuit. Second lap time for Blake Hahn, 13.964, 13.964. First lap slightly better at 13.905, 17th quick as of now. On to the Speedway next as we enter our final couple of qualifiers. From Adel, Iowa, the TNS Industries, the patent carbless right choice shearing corrosion. It's number 1K, it's Kelby Watt. Kelby Watt slides way high in turn 4 that time as he comes down the front straightaway to take the green flag here at Honesty Roofing qualifying. One of the final 5 cars to qualify, very high in turn number 2 that time as we see that cushion really start to move up here throughout qualifying. First lap for Kelby Watt, the Iowa native, 27th quick, 14.406, 14.406 for Kelby Watt in the 1K. Watt heads down the back straightaway, lowers his entry in turn 4 that time a little bit. Second lap time for Watt is a 14.695, 14.695, so the first lap of 14.406 is better for the driver of car number 1K. Up next, driver making his 2025 season debut from McLaren Vale, South Australia, the Dirty Air, Mel Hamilton Racing, Giddings Motorsports number 78, it's the Aussie Scott Baguski. Scott Baguski in car number 78, top 5 finisher with the Outlaws at Knoxville in June of last season. Overall, a really strong 2024 for Baguski. He opens his season by going, as of now, 23rd quick and qualifying 14.034, 14.034 for Baguski on the first lap. 4 wins last season, one with the IRA at Mississippi Thunder, also had wins at Knoxville, Houston, and Jackson. Second lap time, Baguski jumps up to 21st quick, 13.981, 13.981, the second lap time better for Scott Baguski in the 83. Currently finds himself 21st in at number 78. Last night's winner going out late in qualifying tonight from Penngrove, California, the TRD Mobile One, Roth Motorsports, Roth Enterprises, HR Livestock Transportation, number 83, it's Buddy Kofoid. Buddy Kofoid in the 83 saw a little puff of smoke off of his car in hot laps earlier. Seems to be resolved as of now. Kofoid looking for his first time of the season. His first lap is good enough for 4th quick, 13. Rips the lip in 3 and 4. Does last year's rookie with the Outlaws. Can he improve on the second lap? No. 13.698, 13.698. First lap better at 13.607. Now a lot of smoke out of that 83 for Buddy Kofoid, so we've seen that now twice tonight. But Kofoid sitting all right as of now. Fourth quick would have him on the pole of, would have him on the front row of a heat race. Up next from Canton, Illinois, the NOS Energy Drink, Team Racing Products, Jim Shooteneck, High Performance Lubricants, Phillips and Tosco Developers, number 7S, Big Daddy, Chris Wyndham. Chris Wyndham in front of number 7S. Wyndham sees another new track in his rookie campaign with the Outlaws. First lap time is 27th quick, 14.314, a 14.314 for Chris Wyndham. USAC Triple Crown champion, making the step to run with the greatest show on dirt here in 2025 and has fared really well to this point. Top 10 last night at Lawton. Second lap time for Wyndham better, but still 27th at a 14.300. So Wyndham 27th as of now. One driver will try to eclipse David Gravel's time and stop Gravel's qualifying streak. This driver, the final car out tonight from Hanover, California, driving the Dryden Duramax, Federated Auto Parts, C&D Racing, Shark Racing, number 1S, it's Lawton Schuhart. Lawton Schuhart in car number 1S, several top 5 finishes with the greatest show on dirt this season, 8 to be exact. But still looking for that first win of the year. Schuhart was quick in hot laps. What will he do here? 22nd quick, 13.950, 13.950 for Schuhart. Looking for a major improvement here is Logan Schuhart. He will jump up to 17, 13.901, 13.901. So Schuhart salvages a decent run, jumps up to 17th, much better than he was originally scored. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes Honest Abe Roofing qualifying this evening, and for the 9th time in the last 10 races, David Gravel has gone quick time, 13.463. An incredible streak of quick times for David Gravel. He cannot be out-qualified at this point with the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series. So the 13.463 good enough for quick time as we take a look at that lap for the driver of the HoustonSpeedway.com, number 2. Smooth all the way around and a nearly perfect lap. Quicker than anybody else for David Gravel. As we look on down the results in Honest Abe Roofing qualifying, Giovanni Selzy second at 13.528, Carson Macedo third, Buddy Kofoid and Connor Morell round at the top 5. Nice effort for Morell. Kerry Matson bounces back well with a 6th place run in qualifying. Bill Baylod 7th, Donnie Schatz 8th, Sheldon Hanschild and Corey Eliason round out the top 10. Brian Brown, Emerson Axom, Kevin Thomas Jr., Caleb Johnson, Garrett Williamson, Ryan Timms, Logan Schuhart, Cole Macedo, Blake Hahn, and Jason Martin round at the top 20. Behind them, it's Hunter Schoenberg, Zach Hampton, Scott Badusky, Skylar G, Christopher Traum, Logan Julian, Jace Park, Chris Wyndham, Brian Wiedemann, Cameron Key, and Kelby Watt. So the drivers of the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series push back to the pit area as Honest Abe Roofing qualifying is complete. Up next will be a trio of 8-lap heat races for the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series that will set the stage for our feature. That'll be in just a little bit. The World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series are joined this evening by the stock car division that runs on a regular basis here at 81 Speedway, and Andrew Clark has the call for the stock car division this evening.
Race fans, hello and welcome. Saturday night here at 81 Speedway with your NOS Energy Drink World of Outlaws Sprint Car Series. We're going to come to you with Allied Battery Stock Car Weekly Championship Points Night number 1 on tap here tonight, as stock cars are going to roll off at turn 4 for hot lap session. First car out of the gate in the 9A, that is going to be Eric Kick. Eric Kick in the 9A. Behind him is the 9X of Cleo Adams, the Z147 of Kenny Arrington, the 06 of Ryan Knight, the 471 of Robert Foster, the 99A of Aaron Esparza, the number 1 of Scott Miller, the 44 of Braden Stoner, the 28 of Tim Osborne, the 321 of Jeremy Richmond, the 45 of Scott Squire, and the 33C of Cody Wickham are going to be hot lap session number 1 for your Allied Battery stock cars here on night number 1 of weekly championship points at 81 Speedway. Car plumbing green flag is in the air. Hot lap session is live on the Speedway. Going to give them some green, white checkered flag. Green-white checkered laps here for hot lap session with your stock cars. Again, we got to thank our great partners at Allied Battery for coming back on board for the weekly championship sponsorship of the stock cars here. "32 of your stock cars checked in for action tonight. Great field of stock cars. We've had a few drivers make some bump ups. As Cleo Adams going to go for a spin over underneath the Milton Hershey School sign there. Going to get that corrected back on the speedway. Checkered flag going to fly on hot lap session number 1 here for your Allied Battery stock cars at 81 Speedway on NOS Energy Drink World of Outlaws Sprint Car Night. Great group of fans here tonight to watch the sprint cars. We appreciate you having some time out here on Saturday night at 81 Speedway. It's a beautiful night. Cars will turn in off of turn 3, go through the short chute in the middle of the infield, exit off at turn 2 back to the pit area. Another group of Allied Battery stock cars sits off at turn 4 for hot lap session number 2. As you're watching live on DIRTVision, the stock cars are going to make their way off at turn 4. First one out of the gates, the 55R of George Ramey. 55RX as it comes up on my race pass. The 67 is going to be Austin Ramey. The 42 is Caden Hawley. The 42M is Brian May. The 24H is Chris Hawley. The 82 is Joey Richmond. The 77J is Jaden Hawley. The 89 is Mason Schnell. 64 is Ryan Carey, and the 23X is Rob Reneker. That is hot lap session number 2 for your Allied Battery stock cars here on night number 1 of weekly championship points action at 81 Speedway. So if you're following along on my race pass, the 67 is Austin Ramey. Not coming up. It shows missing data, but that is Austin Ramey in the 67 car. As Ricard Plumman green flag, hot lap session number 2 going to roll around the 3/8 mile here in Park City, Kansas. Green-white checkered going to happen for hot lap session here for your Allied Battery stock cars. As the 3T, I believe that is Tanner Tile, he's got it up on the hook, 3-wheeling around here, looking to go take it to victory lane on night number 1. Checkered flag is out. Hot lap session number 2 going to be complete for your Allied Battery stock cars here at 81 Speedway. If you're watching live on DIRTVision, I want to thank you for spending your Saturday night with us here. As the sun falls to the west behind the grandstands here at 81 Speedway, it puts a nice little glow down the backstretch and a good shot for all the photographers and the video here at 81 Speedway as hot lap session number 3 sits off of turn 4 for Allied Battery stock car action. We're going to roll this class off of the speedway before we roll out hot lap session number 3. Give everyone a chance to get back to the pit area and get ready for heat race action later. 4 heat races on tap. There's also a B feature, 32 cars checked in for action tonight for weekly championship points. As hot lap session number 3 going to roll off at turn 4 down the front stretch, the first one out of the gate, going to be the 01 of Chris Griffin. Behind him is the 01X of Bo Davis and the 048 JR of Darren Johnson. The 51 is Cody Wright. The 202 is Kenny Ziegler. The K9 is Kyler Kemp. The 775 is your defending champion here at 81 Speedway for Allied Battery stock cars. That is Jace Reimer. Behind him is Kendall Kemp in the Boob car. That 775 right there rolling down the backstretch at the 81 Speedway sign. That is your defending champion for Allied Battery Stock Cars, Jace Reimer. He unsettled a 4-time champion in Clint Smith. Clint Smith not in attendance with us tonight. So the 775, Jace Reimer, he is your defending champion. Let's see if he can go back-to-back. We're green flag, hot lap session number 3 as they roll around 81 Speedway. We're getting a little 3 wide down the backstretch into 3. Here for hot lap session, as the 202 of Kenny Ziegler right there, little hop, skip, and a jump. He's going to back it off just a little bit. K9 of Kyler Kemp, that's a new stock car for that team. Good to see them out here as they have been dominant in the stock car division with the Boob car. Cody Wright going to have some issues in the 51. He's going to slow down the backstretch to the inside, but we are checkered flag. That is going to do it for hot lap session number 3 for Allied Battery Stock Cars here tonight on night number 1 of weekly championship points action at 81 Speedway. So the 51 of Cody Wright, we're going to have to get a little assistance off of the Speedway. Hopefully he can get that car fixed up and back ready to go. That's going to do it for hot lap session here. We're going to kick it back over to Connor Wade for the DIRTVision call for the Outlaws.
Thank you, Andrew. Great to be here at 81 Speedway this evening. A beautiful night. Packed house. We can look out over the back straightaway and see cars parked all over Park City, Kansas, as everybody has filed in to get a whiff of the greatest show on dirt here this evening. Hot laps and Honesty Roofing qualifying is complete. Opening ceremonies and heat race action coming up for the greatest show on dirt. We will see all of that for those of you watching back home on DIRTVision after this quick break.
Okay, now that's going places.
I want to go places too.
I want you to have more opportunities than I had.
So I would live in Hershey, Pennsylvania?
Yeah, and you'll live with other students from all over the country. I'll see you soon. You're gonna be great.
Find your future at Milton Hershey School.
DIRTVision would like to thank our friends at Elliott's Custom Trailers and Carts for helping us get from track to track.
If this is your idea of ladylike, you're gonna fit right in. Join us at Toyota Racing.
I think it's a very big deal that we have Amcus, providing us with the Amcus cutting tools throughout our series and World Racing Group. It's good that we were able to get a product in that's reliable and it does the job. If for some reason we had to cut a car apart or get access to a driver or a patient, we know that this tool here is definitely the one that we're going to work the best, get us in there quickly.
on his health, and I want to read it word for word, of course. First of all, thank you so much for the get well wishes. Long story short, after an episode at 6 a.m., I've learned that I have AFib. I'm being treated, observed, and assuming all goes well, I should be discharged tomorrow and be back at Arrowhead on Friday. John Lee, of course, thank you for putting your health first. John Gibson is an integral part of the World of Outlaws family. We cannot wait to have him back next Friday night at Arrowhead Speedway. But for those of you that have just joined us or wondering, that's why John is not with us here this evening. We know he's watching back home on DIRTVision, so I'll be in the booth. We will not have a pit reporter this evening, so we're going to forego our traditional heat race interviews, and we'll do our dash draw at the Series Command Center as well. Happy to have everybody along for the ride, back on DIRTVision and here at 81 Speedway in Kansas. It's opening ceremonies time before we officially kick off our night. And at this time, we ask everybody here in the crowd to please rise if you're able, and gentlemen, remove cover. Please welcome Johnny Whitmore from Race Day Ministries to offer tonight's invocation.
Yes, there we go. Thank you all for coming out tonight. Would you please pray with me? Our gracious Heavenly Father, again, I thank you for blessing us with a great evening tonight. And Lord, I just thank you for all these fans and all these teams that's come out to put a show on for us tonight. So Lord, tonight, I just ask that you watch over us, keep us safe, and Lord, just put your hand over us. And we just thank you for what you're going to do. And I'll give you the praise. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Thank you, Johnny. And now to perform the Star Spangled Banner this evening, please welcome Jessica Hayes.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
This great crowd in Kansas making noise. They are packed into 81 Speedway, excited to see the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series in action.